Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Audience of One show. Musings, banter, and other romantic love songs on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5, irlonestar.com, and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, next to the self-proclaimed 10, a real charmer on dates, the beautiful symphony.
Oh yeah, just give me 5 minutes, I'll get you.
Richard Schisler. 5 minutes will get you, huh?
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes.
I am not going to go there, buddy. Ooh, I'm coming in hot on this mic.
Yeah, I'll turn you down.
Woo!
I'll turn you down.
Yes, the beautiful symphony himself, Mr. Richard Schisler.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Audience of One. Happy to be back. It's the beginning of October.
It's now okay to put out your decorations.
I guess.
According to the Audience of One rules, we don't have any holidays to skip. And it's now October.
That's a solid rule.
Go ahead. Everyone, onesies, put out your decor.
Yeah, you know, it's funny is for the past 5 days on social media, I've been seeing National Sunday, National Daughter Day, National Coffee Day, and I'm just like, is there a list of these? Or is this a Facebook thing I'm missing?
I don't know. I don't participate.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I was like, I feel like there's a list somewhere.
There probably is.
I'm because you know how the social media prompt you.
Sure.
It's like, oh hey, why don't you go say hi to your dad? It's Father's Day.
Right.
And
that's how I know.
My dad's dead.
That's how I know my friends'
Facebook.
birthdays. To be honest with you, sadly enough.
Oh, it's Father's Day?
No. I said that's how I know my friends' birthdays. Is because Facebook reminds me. I'm so terrible at it. I'm like, thanks for that.
I didn't even know my. This is probably why I'm divorced. I didn't know my wife's birthday or the day we got married. Because I always got the dates mixed up with something else.
Those are probably two of the dates you're supposed to remember. I'm just going to say.
Well, okay, it's not. In my defense, I have 16 nieces and nephews. And the month of August, I think the first week, we have 5 birthdays.
Yeah.
And so I always mix up her birthday with my dead grandfather's. Because it's the first and the second. You know, it's one of those, they're very close. And I'm like, you're either the first or the second. I can never really remember. And then, my brother's the 5th. And then, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those are definitely two that you probably need to commit to memory. I don't think it matters how many birthdays.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. She's dead.
Well, she's not
No,
dead.
she's not dead. But no, speaking of divorce, I wanted to tell you, so I got on some dating apps.
Yeah, you did, buddy.
And
tell me about it.
It is hilarious what, I guess, I think the last time I got on one of these apps, I had to have been 10, 13 years ago.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 10 years old.
Oh, yeah. I'm 10, just trying to rock it, man. Just give me 5 minutes, baby.
I'm looking for an older woman. 11.
Just give me 5 minutes. I'll finish up.
All right, now. Moving on.
But anyway, we were talking about AI a lot of times on the show, and I can't help but go through these apps and think of the AI of either their bots or the way they're trying to match you to get you to pay for stuff. Because I'm on the apps, I was just encouraged to get on just to see people who are around dating around the area. Not necessarily go on dates. It's just hey, just see what the talent pool is, you know? And the more, every day I get on it, it's different groups of people. And it kind of weirds me out because it's almost like it's ethnic based. Because it's all right, we need to figure out what this guy likes. Let's just give him all African Americans one day. And then let's give him all Asian people. Let's give them all pasty white girls. And then it's but then, and then it becomes are these people real or not? Because you don't know. You can tell some of them are authentic just because the actual pictures they take.
Sure.
Or they're in Houston or they're in Conroe. But then there's other ones that straight up look like AI photos.
I wonder if it's kind of like when you first sign up for a social media site and they give you friend suggestions and they're actually half the time people you know or at least familiar with. How do they know? That's so great. I literally just signed up for this app.
The phone numbers.
I wonder for you, when you sign up for a dating app, the very first profile it shows you are rag dolls and blow up dolls first? Is that like the first thing it shows you? Like, based off of our prior knowledge of this guy, this is what we're gonna and see what he says there.
5 minutes.
Is he swiping left or right on there? Yeah.
Well, no. What got me thinking though, it's like, because these companies are looking for money.
Sure.
So I was like, do you think they actually did this on purpose, where they set these up for the first, like, your encounter for the first week or two? It's just a roller coaster where you're like, what is going on with this thing? Maybe I need to pay.
I was gonna say, maybe you need to just spring for I don't know, a couple bucks a month, Dick.
Well, no, they
trying to meet
dime you on everything. It's
the
like
future Miss Schisler.
It's like, oh, you want to give them a rose? It's a dozen roses is $12, and apparently a rose is better than something. I have no idea.
It is kind of funny that you bring this up, because a friend of mine and listener, Eric, sent me something the other day about dating apps and the differences between reality and their profile pictures. And in this one picture he sent me was this woman who said she's looking for a man who's well put together, and yet behind her is her closet that looks like she could hide a dead body in there. There's stuff just scattered everywhere, top to bottom, packed, but she's looking for a man who's put together.
Well, another thing that I love about this is the idea of you, like, what's the correct word? Like, self-reflecting on selling yourself to the opposite sex. And they have to fit in these apps parameters to, like, that's what you got to do. Because typically in my personal life, every girl I've ever been involved with, I've always met through
mutual friends,
or business stuff. And it was over the course of XYZ timeline. They're like, oh, I like you. I'm like, well, yeah, cool, 5 minutes. But the app thing is so funny to me, because some of the, like, my mindset is all the pictures I have of me are doing stupid stuff.
Sure. No.
So am I just a stupid person?
Shocking.
Am I just a stupid person?
You know,
so it can beat you up, man. And I was I was going through this. I was like, all these people that get on this, like, the trauma you cause yourself.
I am curious to see where this goes with you over the next several months and what unfolds. This ought to be some fairly interesting stories.
Well, okay, let me tell you what I did on my deal, because you can do different prompts. So my first prompt was, of course, dill pickles over sweet pickles.
Okay. All right. That's number one.
That's number one. That's my biggest.
So wait, hold on.
If you don't,
you prefer the dill pickles over the sweet, or the woman you're looking for must also prefer. So you're saying there's a flaw if she likes sweet pickles over dill.
Sweet pickles are a cruel joke. They really are.
Interesting.
The only reason they're a cruel joke is because I prefer dill. So every time I go to, like, a hamburger place or whatever,
Dick prefers dill.
And you grab a pickle and you're like, oh, this is a dill pickle. It's got to be. And then you eat it and it's a sweet pickle. It ruins your entire day.
So you mean to tell me an absolute 10, a dime, responds to your profile and says, I would like to date you, but I eat a jar and a half a day.
No, not even that.
Pickle
if they even
slices.
have a jar of sweet pickles in their house.
You mean to tell me you're going to say, nah?
No.
Thanks.
Because that will happen. I'll come to their house and I'll be, well, I want to make a sandwich after that 5 minutes. And I was like, hey, let me grab some pickles.
So this is what you do on first date. You come over and make sandwiches.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people go through the medicine cabinet.
And I'm really hungry, and I'm like,
to see if they've got any.
And then it's a sweet pickle, and it's just, it's almost like I got a one-way ticket to hell, and I can't come back.
It's not that bad. No, a lot of people go through the medicine cabinet, determine if they've got any rashes or creams that they're, covering up for. But no, you go to the refrigerator and check the pickle situation.
No, and that's what I love about these apps. Like, what's your compatibility?
Good luck out there, ladies.
Yes, like, what's your compatibility?
Good grief.
But no, I just wanted to let you know, I was looking around. I found it really interesting, the self-harm I'm causing myself. But also at the same time, I'm very amused.
Hey, look, man, don't limit yourself. There's probably some fine ladies out there that like sweet pickles, okay? Just don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where you don't want to give too much information about yourself.
True. You are on the radio, though.
Well, I mean, like, you're looking at strangers,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so some of these profiles are hilarious to me, because some of them you can clearly tell, like, what's going on. They're like, oh, they're at work. They're at work. Okay. And the other ones are like, oh, it's AI. They're always... Well, that's what I always love, is like the ones that say, and this is a typical woman thing, and audienceShow@gmail.com. Let me know if
now, typical woman things with Dick. Go ahead.
So, yeah.
Let's lose half our audience right now. Go ahead.
No. This is because guys have the same thing, but I don't. You can tell me what the equivalent from a guy's statement is.
Okay, I'm scared now.
Well, because women always say, like, "Oh, I want to be a traveler." Or
women say this?
yeah, well, just like it's like I travel, I want to travel.
Oh, I want to travel. Okay.
Or they say I'm a stay-at-home kind of person. Mm-hmm. Like guys don't really say that kind of stuff.
No, guys use the words like adventurer. I like adventures, baby.
But But see, I don't know.
Thrill seeker.
But what I'm saying on these apps, it's like, oh, I love staying at home, drinking wine, blah blah, and every picture's like in Cabo, and I'm like, so do you live in Cabo? Like that'd be kind of cool. But
meanwhile, you are staying at home drinking wine.
Because guys would be
lots of
so it. If guys were honest on this stuff, it would just be disgusting.
Well, it'd be in a world of single people. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it'd just be like I like cigars and I like drinking more than 10 beers in a night, and it's just like
what you're going to end up with is another dude. You realize that? Sometimes you go, hey, he does have the same.
Well, that's just
likes I do.
Yeah. Oh. That'd be great. But yeah, so these dating apps, if you got a dating app, if you've been on one and I want to have some fun, send it to us, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com.
Attention, Dick, leave me out of this.
No, yeah, Andrew's happily married.
So, yes, I am. So, the little show cleanup.
You don't shut up about her.
A little bit of show cleanup and staying on this whole dating theme. Last week we brought up the Golden Bachelor, and
yes.
Yeah. So it did air. I did not watch it. Like I said, I probably won't. But I did want to clean up a few things about it. I said that the ladies are probably aged anywhere from 58 to 68. I was wrong. The youngest one is 60, and the oldest one is 75. And I believe there are a couple that are around that age. So they're not all younger than him. In fact, a few are.
How old is
older.
he?
72, I think. That I don't.
He's got a weird voice.
Yeah, he's a bit strange. But I mean, the thing that really turns me off about this, or I guess turns me off, it's kind of funny.
What
would turn me on about this?
What would turn you on about it?
I guess that was a poor choice of words. That's someone's mom or grandmother out there, man. And how would you feel if that was Nana out there and she's making out with this dude and throwing shade at the other ladies? It's got to be awkward.
Remember we were talking about what I love is the Bachelor show, the program itself has been around for so long.
It has.
So the women and the men who go out there and do that kind of stuff, they know what they're getting into now. Like the first couple seasons were very natural, like because no one was really trying to become an Instagram star. But now when you watch it today, it's like half of them only want to be on it just because they want to be on The Bachelor.
They got motivation.
They're not searching for love.
But even then, I just wouldn't want to see Grandma out there.
But anyway, what I wanted to finish with that is, the conversations and the situations, a 65-year-old competing with other women their age, it's got to be drastically different from a 25-year-old competing with the women.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched it. It's definitely going to have a different dynamic.
I watched at the bowling alley with no sound. And I kid you not, I told the guy, no, we're not changing it.
And you're going to go back and watch it with sound
And this guy comes up, he's like, why are we watching this? And I'm like, because I want to. And I think some football game was on.
Oh, yeah, it's a good way to piss a lot of people off. Well, that's Dating Talk with AOO. I look forward to it. All right, now it's time to play the serious talk music.
Oh, man. I was having fun. You're never having fun. But,
oh, man.
I guess your weekend just sucked.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and make it through this entire episode without violently sneezing because I did yard work, and when I'm outdoors, I guess that length of time. Woo! So I'm going to try to make it through this without sneezing. So, Dick, have you ever donated to like a GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Or something like that? Yeah, you have? Are you ever leery about like perhaps where the cash might go?
No.
Or if you're thinking, man, this guy, is he really going to go use it to fund, his sick kid that's got, $50,000 in hospital bills now?
Well,
Are you ever worried about that?
I grew up in a family that always said, whenever you give your money away, don't worry about where it goes.
Okay, all right. Well, that's definitely one way. So if you gave away, let's say,
that's why I don't give money to homeless people.
Right, $1,000, okay, and you thought it went to fund this man's hospital bills, but it turned out that he just used it on weed and beer.
Are we talking about I Love Conroe?
You wouldn't.
Yeah. This person needs gas money, guys.
Right. Lots of gas money. You wouldn't care. Because at that point.
Well, I mean,
you would probably prefer that it does go to.
So the conversion rate of me giving money is very low, unless I know the person very well. Like if you're in the hospital, yeah, I give it to you. But if it's just but,
okay, say it's me though, someone I know,
and I gave it. So you know somebody that
you'd be comfortable
giving you $1,000?
No. You are going to assume that I'm going to spend it on what I say.
Yeah.
Only because you know me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. We'll need to talk after the show. I need some cash. But this story caught my eyes from MSN.
Hey, I need to buy more roses.
Yeah, exactly. A man has admitted to lying about terminal cancer to raise money to enter a poker tournament.
See,
What a jerk,
I like
man.
it. Those happen all the time, though.
So
I
he
feel like this happens all the
started like a
time.
GoFundMe and said that he had terminal cancer and then he needed money for it. 30 grand, but instead he went and entered the World Series of Poker. This was last week, I think. Oh, at least the story was. What a jerk, man.
wanna say that.
But it does raise an interesting question. You are awfully trusting of these people when you give them money on the GoFundMe that they're actually going to use the money for what
think
it's
about
intended for.
what was that? What was it during the election? The guy was like, "The GoFundMe for build the wall." Did you see that? He got like $30 million.
Oh my god.
For something like that.
Who is this?
Just some random dude was like, "Yeah, we're gonna help build the wall."
That is amazing.
And I'm pretty sure he got in a lot of trouble because it's like, what can you legally do with 30
Well,
million?
that's what I was going to ask. Is this guy going to get in trouble? It says here, quote, "I did lie about having colon cancer. I don't have colon cancer. I use that to cover my, quote, situation. What I did was wrong."
Situation.
Yeah. In other words, that's to cover his bet. Yeah, so this is crazy, though. But I don't know if there's any legal ramification. But I'm kind of glad that he came and said something, right? Like a lot of people, you just don't ever know, and you just assume. At least this guy came out and said, "Yep, I lied." I mean, I guess there's something to be said about that.
I mean, he must have done really well at the tournament.
Well, yeah, I guess he's banking on himself, right? He is a gambler after all, thinking, well, if I just get this $30K, I'm good enough. I'll at least be able to cover it.
No, I'm saying he probably admitted it because he probably won some money and was like, "I want to be seen on TV or something."
Yeah, maybe. That could be it, too. GoFundMe has a zero tolerance for the misuse of their platform and takes swift action against those who exploit the generosity of our community. It says here that they have all the donators have been fully refunded, but I don't know where that money comes from. If that's from the actual gambler himself or if GoFundMe has some sort of like insurance that pays it back. But it just says they have.
I mean, I know they get a
back.
good percentage of donations. Like I think like every dollar you donate, they get like 8 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow. Seems like a lot of administrative overhead there.
So I could probably be totally wrong. It could be a cent. I just remember a lot of people didn't like it where, because you have to you pay the credit card processing fee and then you pay that fee.
Yeah, yeah.
So it adds up. Because like we're a nonprofit, you can donate today.
There you go, tax write-off.
IRLoneStar.com.
501c, correct?
3.
I believe fee 3. That's the extent of my
But
knowledge.
you never seen other people jip other people on the GoFundMe and stuff like that? Like Kickstarter does it all the time.
I mean,
where,
I'm sure,
like,
right?
they'll try to sell like a lightsaber, and then it's like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't deliver it."
yeah, just seems like it's a little bit more, I don't know,
Have you
dirty
heard
because
of,
he's saying he has colon cancer. I don't know.
Have you heard of
mischievous?
a game? Okay, you're not really a gamer.
No,
right.
I am not.
So there's this game. It's called Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to see how much money it's raised, and hasn't been released.
Mm-hmm.
They started production in 2010. I'm not kidding you.
They're just scamming people with this. Oh, just a lot of research and development, man.
They started the Kickstarter.
We had to do an iOS upgrade over the weekend. Slowed us down, guys.
They started the Kickstarter. It made $2 million in the first year for for the first time, and then they kept doing it. They kept doing a fundraiser for this game. I think the game is somewhat out, but it's not like it's like in beta. It's been in beta forever.
It's a good gig if you can do it. And I suppose all you have to do is just prove a little bit of progress, that you're doing a little bit with the money, and you're all clear, right?
Well, I mean, it's also a video game, so it's kind of like you can't really release it because a lot of times, I don't know if you ever played a video game that hasn't been tested. Like it can be
I guess I haven't.
It can be a real bad experience. Because it could just not work, and then it works for your buddy. Your buddy calls you, "Dude, this game's awesome." Like, "Oh, I got it," and then it just crashes. You're like,
Yeah, it's beta.
"This game sucks." So you go on the internet and you say, "This game sucks."
And this show's kind of beta. Speaking of money, by the way, last week we talked about, I believe it was last week. If it wasn't last week, it was the previous week. People who refuse change, and you're kind of amazed at those people.
Oh, like you're talking about money change?
Yeah, change,
not
like
coins.
coins.
Changing the world.
Yeah, yeah, right. No, not old fuddy-duddies. No, I'm talking about people who refuse cold, hard change because they just don't like it. And you said you were amazed by these guys. Well, this story caught my eye, and I don't know if you want to show this picture, but a McDonald's customer in Ohio has complained to authorities after saying her Chicken McNugget contained not only meat, but also pennies. This is crazy. So if you show the picture to the people who
I'm trying to find it.
are watching and
Here it is.
rather than just listening,
Sorry.
it's pretty interesting. So
got it.
according to the Jefferson County Health Commissioner, Andrew Henry.
All these ads, dude.
I'm
Send me these
sorry, man. I'm sorry.
terrible websites.
Apparently, this family reported finding pennies in her daughter's chicken McNuggets. And so McDonald's is immediately throwing up their hands going, hey, look, man, we don't, that actual locations. We purchased these McDonald's nuggets from, some factory somewhere. We don't make them here. This has nothing to do with us. But I don't understand why these people are complaining. It's money. So in your situation of people who get annoyed by change,
Probably fake.
do these people have a legitimate gripe? Or are you saying, hey, keep the change, man?
No, what I always
What
wondered.
are they complaining about? It's money. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
You're having the wrong argument here. What I don't like about these kind of situations is it's so like, how can you prove it? Like, how can you prove that you took a bite without and then the change was inside?
Yeah, no, I know. It's kind of, and it does look like that thing is pretty whole. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a bite taken out of it. The penny is perfectly placed right in the middle. Looks like the kid could have squished
That's
it right
what I'm
in
saying.
there.
But I always have that when it's like, oh, it's a fingernail or it's a
Yeah, how do you prove, or a hair or something?
yeah. And
But here's where I think these people's sort of logic falters. They're mad because it was a penny. At what point, though, do you stop getting mad
$1 million
and you
in my
start
chicken
going,
nugget?
I'm not so mad about this. Like if it's a nickel, probably still mad. A quarter, not too happy about it. Well, that's a 20 spot sitting in there. You're going to be all of a sudden upset and contacting the manager. You're probably going to be okay with it. So really, she's not upset at the fact that there was money in her food. She's upset that it was a penny. Let's be honest.
Oh, I guess. That kind of would weird me out if I found change in my chicken nugget.
That's pretty gross.
Then again, it's a chicken nugget.
Yeah.
So there's probably other stuff in there that I don't really know what's in there.
Yeah, and not too much chicken. I bet. A lot of filler. A Jack in the Box in Houston made news just last week because the video of a shooting was released. This is absolutely wild. So
I saw this.
Yeah, this is crazy. So this incident actually took place back in March of 2021.
And the way she shoots the gun is the most nonchalant.
Yeah, man, it looks like she's done it before. The story goes that a customer pulls up to the window and they have a bit of an argument when the guy asks where his curly fries are, to which the lady replies they don't have any. And, of course, that happens, right? In a normal situation, it doesn't get heated, and you say, oh, well, that's terrible. Can I have just regular fries? Somehow this got heated, and they went back and forth for 9 minutes. I don't understand what could be said for 9 minutes. To the point where it got heated, she pulled out a gun.
So I'm showing it. So right here.
Shot.
She's got the gun in her hand.
Look at this.
And she's just kind of like,
yeah. And she fires it through the window at the car as they race off. I got to admit, man, curly fries are pretty good. And I would be disappointed, too, if I didn't have any. What
I like is her coworker.
Just standing there?
It was like when she turned around, or he did. I don't know if it was he or she. He turns around, just like shakes his head, like, gosh, just pulling out the gun again, Susie.
Yeah, jeez. It's funny, though, because I say funny, but I guess when you work at a drive-thru like that, you are exposed to just about any and every kind of person. I bet you a lot of those people are packing with a gun underneath the counter. I mean, it would make sense. I think I'd probably have a piece on me if I'm serving fast food at 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that, but not over curly fries.
I don't know. Maybe they knew each other.
Yeah,
because I always feel like those stories. 5 months later, it comes out. Oh, that was the baby mama of XYZ, and they dated their boyfriends or whatever.
Yeah. Who knows? So a few weeks ago, we talked about doctors that have a large social media presence, and I told you at the time, this just weirds me out. I don't want my doctor to have any social media. In fact, I'd prefer they don't even have the internet. They're just reading all the time about the latest medical technologies, right? And you said, oh, no, bruh, totally cool. I don't care if they're on Dude Perfect and they're operating on my shin or whatever you're going to get operated on. And I just think it's a little weird.
There's levels to it. Like, if he's on camera doing heroin, I'd be like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of followers, bro.
So it's like, I'm about to go into surgery and he's just shooting up.
Yeah, there probably is a level to it. Well, Jewel the singer, hadn't heard her name in a while, apparently has decided to out this Dr. Kenny Smiles, who is a dentist in Texas, I think North Texas somewhere, who apparently he will fix ladies' teeth for either reduced or free amount, but he has this massive social media following. Well, she decides to out him because he is a creep of the highest order, and will oftentimes berate the women or make sexually explicit comments to them. And of course, this guy, the name though, Kenny Smiles.
Oh, that reminds me, I have to tell you an offensive story.
Well, it's gonna have to wait till after this.
Okay. Please remind me. I wanted to tell you that so
Okay,
bad.
I'll
So I'm looking at this guy, Dr. Kenny Smiles.
yeah, man. It's pretty. So he apparently he makes humiliating and sexual comments to his female patients.
While they're passed out?
No, he's like giving them a consultation, and if you've seen the videos,
clothing optional.
He just talks like a creep, real, I don't know, deadpans everything in this weird sort of monotone voice. It's really, really, really creepy. But anyways, I just thought this was interesting because apparently you wouldn't care about this kind of stuff. But I love his name though, Kenny Smiles. Is that like the dentist equivalent to having like a meteorologist named like Teddy Sprinkles? Sandra Showers. You can't take these people seriously. Dick, if you were a meteorologist, what would your nickname be? It would be like Dick Thunderstorm. Dick Hale.
I don't know. Dick Pointer? I don't know.
What? Pointer?
Yeah,
what does that have to do with anything?
Pointing.
Oh, gotcha.
God.
That can go a lot of different
I know.
ways, man.
That was the joke.
There was a quote in here I'm trying to find, but
Clothes optional. Clothing optional is what he said. That's one of the inappropriate messages he sent from the account.
Oh, here it is. It says one of the clips that she showed, Dr. Smiles was commenting on his patient's breasts and remarking how her husband must only look at her from the neck down due to her ugly teeth. What a jerk, man. This guy's a loser. But yeah, she's outed him, and I don't know if there's been any charges against him because what he's doing, I suppose, isn't necessarily illegal, although it does say that he is facing some regulatory fines as well, so he's not doing everything necessarily on the up and up.
Well,
all right, disturbing story time.
Oh, no, I wanted to tell you this. I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you this. I think it was on last Wednesday or Thursday. Did I tell you about the guy getting a Michelob at like 8 a.m.?
It wasn't me, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I went in. I was doing my gas, getting the coffee and everything in the morning. And so I'm in line with my cup of coffee, and there's a gentleman in front of me who is wearing a full-on, just golf stuff. And he has a tall boy, Michelob tall boy. And there's a young lady in front of him. And the young lady gets to the counter, and she goes, "Hey, can I get $30 cash, please?" And hands the card, and he's like, "Oh, we don't do the ATM is what if you need cash, you need to get over there." And this guy, nonchalant, without missing a beat, right in front of me, goes, "Well, ma'am, I can give you cash." And she's like, you saw her kind of think about it.
How does that work?
What? And he's like, "Well, why don't you just go golfing with me?" And I'm
wow, that's a baller move right there, man. So did she go?
No, she without
smart move, lady.
She goes, "No, thank you." And
yeah,
then
exactly.
She went to the ATM, right next. But what was great, it was the ATM was right next to him, so you can imagine her trying not to show the butt or whatever. She's trying to don't stare at me, creepy guy. And I'm just sitting there going what? It is 8 a.m. This guy's buying a beer. And he's going golfing. He's trying to pick up women. And then I started thinking about.
I wonder what his profile is like.
No, I started thinking about what are the odds of picking up the opposite sex right before you go golfing? I wonder how many times that's happened.
Yeah, I wonder how many times he's tried it and been successful. Yeah, it's just your numbers game, I guess.
I'm going golfing right now. You want to come with?
But I don't even know what that means. I'll give you cash.
See, at first...
Wait a minute. Is this slang for something? Or
at first I thought he was trying to proposition
Yeah,
her.
that's what it sounds like to me.
But then I thought it was oh, they know each other.
Yeah,
and then the way she reacted going to the ATM, it was oh, they did not know each other. And... But yeah, but it happened out of the middle, in front of everybody. And I was like, that's probably the first time I've seen that in a while. just.
Yeah, smart move, lady. Smart move.
Because he also could have been just totally joking.
Yeah, I'll give you $30 if you go golfing. It does, out of context, sound extremely desperate.
Well, yeah. But it also got me thinking, I wonder how many guys picked up girls on the way to the golf course.
It's got to be extremely low. Extremely low. All right, man, last story before the break. Dick, are you a sushi eater? Do you like to eat sushi?
Yeah, I mean, I made sushi this weekend.
Really? Then you got to be careful, man. Sushi can be dangerous if not prepared properly. I don't really eat sushi.
There was a chef there, and he showed me how to do it.
There was a chef there. Where the heck were you?
I was at my sister's 50th birthday party.
Oh, that
and
sounds
my
like a
brother
lot of fun.
hired a sushi chef.
A sushi chef.
A sushi chef.
Are they called chefs?
I have no idea.
Sushi prepared?
He spoke very little English, but you could tell
What language was he predominantly speaking?
Japanese.
Oh, okay, good.
But he was
Check. Because if he's speaking like French, I'm like, nah, it doesn't work, man.
Well, he was saying something along the lines of back when he was my age, he could do 200 rolls in XYZ time. Mm-hmm. But he's now in his 70s, and he's just like, I just can't do it. I go, well, do you want me to help you? And he's like, okay.
Well, you may want to rethink this whole sushi thing after you hear this story. But a California woman loses all 4 of her limbs from a bacterial infection after eating undercooked tilapia.
So you know what creeps me out?
Oh my God.
What creeps me out about those kind of stories is
how terrible.
You ever had one of those like consistent scratches? So like for example, like on my hand, I always get like a paper cut on this finger.
See, when you're dating, they're going to be looking in your medicine cabinet for that ointment. I'm telling you.
But like every time I get a paper cut there, it's different. So like one time it went away in like 2 days, and then one time it started getting like really inflamed and red. And I was like, "What did I do different?"
Don't put this on your app.
And what do you mean? I got things that are flamed and
Remember,
red.
you're a perfect 10.
Oh, I know I'm a perfect 10 all day and all night. But I'm talking about when you get those certain.
Yeah,
you're
sure.
like, oh, this could be really bad. Mm-hmm. This is actually not just like a pimple. This is like an infection.
This is it, baby. This is it. This is the end. Well, this is a bacterial infection called vibrio, and it can be caused from eating unfully cooked or raw fish. And this woman in September
I had a lot of raw
last
fish
month
yesterday.
contracted it. I'm just going to keep going. And eventually they had to remove both of her arms and legs to stop the spread of the bacteria. That is absolutely horrible, man. So I like to eat fish, but I am certainly going to make sure that stuff is cooked all the way through. All right, guys, coming up on the second half of the show, emotional support alligators. That and more on the Audience of One show.
Bye. All right, not bye. We'll be right back.
Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
All right, onesies, we are back with our Audience of One second half. Always reach out to us, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com, or you can look up Lone Star Community Radio, irlonestar.com, find our show page, and you can find all our contact information. Want to remind folks you can donate and sponsor at irlonestar.com/AO. And let's get back with the second half of the show. I know I interrupted your flow at the very beginning talking about dating apps and everything. And I was really excited about talking about what you wanted to talk about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I just skipped it. I don't know why. Because
I told you 5 minutes is all I need.
Yeah,
and you forget.
Threw me off.
And you
man.
forget.
Threw me off. Well, we may have to get you in contact with this woman. Have you heard of this term called hotbedding? I had not.
I heard of hotbed.
I've heard of hot box.
I've heard of hotbed, though. I forgot where I heard that, though. It's something with the car.
No, well, this is a term given to people who rent out half of their bed to complete strangers.
So, like, is it a comfort thing?
Yeah, it's got to be some weird thing that people who like to sleep in a bed with somebody else in a non-sexual way. I mean, you've heard of the people who do, like, professional cuddling. I've heard that.
Yeah, I've
that
heard
was which to me is really weird. But you pay for like a half hour to cuddle with somebody or hugs. Well, this takes it even one step further, and this one woman says she's making up to $600 a month by renting out the unoccupied side of her mattress. Dick, I got to ask you, are you doing that? Are you going to rent out, or would you go and sleep on the rented half of this bed of this woman?
No. I think what creeps me out about this kind of stuff,
man.
Because like there were, what this reminds me of, and it's not as personal.
Yeah.
But you know how Airbnb exists and all that kind of stuff?
Sure.
I remember it was either this summer or last summer, or it might have been during COVID. People were doing like Airbnb pools.
Yes. Yep.
And I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, because COVID shut down a lot of the public pools. And if you said that, I'm sorry. And so, people were like, we want to go swimming. And the guy's like, bro, you can come to my house and swim. And so they rent out their pool, their backyard for the day or whatever. But
see, again,
I guess
that's
it's a little odd.
Having strangers come to your house.
Yeah. Yeah, while you're there.
And see, like, because I'm over here talking about meeting strangers on the internet for, physical reasons. But this is where the line's drawn. Knowing where I sleep. That would creep me out.
Yeah, man. She says there has to be strict boundaries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder.
You think
she sleeps with a gun under her pillow?
Yeah, no kidding.
Or taser?
When you're asleep like that and you're out, any number of things can happen. The obvious, the guy grabs a knife or a gun or whatever and kills you. But like, what if he just had like some taco casa the night before?
You just went straight for the murder.
Yeah, well, that's the obvious, the dangers. But what if he just had some taco casa from for lunch and he's in there hotboxing her at night? And it's making this horrible, sleeping experience. You're taking a risk here, I think.
I always find it interesting that the world creates these unique fetishes for people, and somehow on the other end of that fetish, someone will reciprocate. Mm-hmm. Like, it always finds a way. And the fact that it'd be interesting to know how she fell into this kind of line of work.
Well, it does go into a little bit about it if you're that interested.
Well, it's more of, you go online to like Angie's List or something, and it's like, I'm looking for someone to sleep on the other side of my bed, $50 an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't say how much she charges per sleep, but $600 a month. And it should be noted, she's from Australia. So many of these weird stories. Australia. What's up, man?
I
don't get that. Well,
but like renting your pool though, see, that would still freak me out.
Yeah.
Because like, imagine if you're like just doing your laundry that day, and you literally have a strange family in your backyard.
I think this is attracting the creeper, right? He's like, come and use my pool, and he's creeping on people.
Come and use my pool.
Yes. It is clean.
Speedo optional.
Yes, and he's just standing there on the back porch with a Speedo on and just kind of rubbing oil down on himself on an area that's already well oiled. Yeah, no, I think there's some creepers that are renting out their pools. Just going to throw that out there. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard about, I'm sure you did, it was all over.
You want the bubbles. You want bubbles.
The hot tub. This guy just got really weird.
I really like this guy already. Let's go rent his pool.
Sounds like a blast. So I'm sure you saw the story of Britney Spears. She was all over the place yet again. I know that people...
What is that? Leave Britney alone?
Yeah, we do need to leave Britney alone. Oh, yeah, that was a story that was
so
viral.
Good.
It was interesting because, she had that conservatorship with her parents, and everybody thought her parents were robbing her of money and whatnot, etc. I'm sure there was some level of that going on, but it does make you wonder if it was possibly needed or for a reason. Obviously, a judge in the court of law decided for some number of years that she did need to have some sort of, what was it called? A contributorship or not contributorship? Anyways, it doesn't matter. She's been free now for a while and is popping up in the news frequently for doing some odd behaviors. Well, this one, right along those same lines, she was videoing herself, I guess, on Insta or some other social, where she was basically juggling knives, dancing with knives. I haven't seen the video.
Oh.
Have you seen this video?
I'm pulling it up. Let's see if it works.
Oh my gosh.
Right, there it
okay,
is.
so she's dancing. Oh my goodness. Now, she did go on later to say that the knives were prop knives that her crew had purchased for her. However, you can hear clanging, so I've read, in the video of these knives hitting together, which is some people saying an indication that these are not fake knives, these are real knives. I don't know. Either way, they do look fairly real, but you can have even prop knives made out of some kind of alloy, right, that will make a clinking sound of some sort when they're hit together. But she's dancing pretty violently with those knives and spinning around, and it looks pretty crazy. I don't really care too much about Britney Spears. I really don't care too much about this story, but what I am concerned about here or interested in is the fact that you can post something online like this. Somebody can see it and call the cops on you, because that's exactly what happened. The cops came out to do a welfare check on her after this video was posted. And I didn't know you could do that. Like, so for instance, if you're doing your...
Are you serious?
Well, think about it. If you're doing like your late night with Dick streaming, like you were talking about, and you're opening up packages from Amazon that you got in the mail and trying certain things on, and somebody goes, oh my gosh, that Xanax, Dick, don't take that Xanax, what are you doing? And they feel concerned about you. They can call the cops and they can show up at your house.
The craziest scenarios...
I didn't know that.
One of the craziest scenarios I've ever been in is I went to school in Abilene, so it was a 6-hour drive, roughly around 6 hours, depending on traffic. And there's a lot of long stretch of highway going to and fro. And one time we're driving and we get pulled over, and I'll never forget, my buddy Cody's like, asked the officer, like, why did we get pulled over? And he said, well, we had someone call in saying there was a gray sedan driving erratically.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
And and he goes like, where? Because we literally just got out of lunch. Like we were like just pulled out of Whataburger, and within the first 5 minutes of leaving Whataburger, we get pulled over.
Probably because you pulled out erratically because that guy was pulling a gun out and shooting you through the drive-through.
But I was like, and the officer couldn't even answer. Like, it didn't have a license plate, didn't have anything. It just said gray sedan.
Well, I mean,
So
I think in theory
they're just pulling over gray
sedans.
sedans.
I think if they can prove that they do have some sort of probable cause, like someone saying, "Hey, this person's driving," they can do that.
I could literally call.
But that's not what I'm referring to.
Well, no, I could literally call right now and call like HPD and be like, "I'm on 45 right now on Ritchie Road, and there's this purple car. He's going crazy. Hang up." Yeah. And then they pull over the first purple car they see.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily what I mean. I'm talking about the fact that someone has posted a video.
Oh, no, I get it.
It's something that, one, could be completely fake, could have been from 3 weeks ago, who knows, right, or a month ago, whatever, and the cops will show up. How do they know where she...
They should have called the SWAT team.
How did they even know where she was? I mean, I'm sure she's got multiple houses, right? How do they know where she lives? Brittany's house, I guess they just know. Cops know, huh? I don't know. It just seems really odd. So, like I said, I'm not calling the cops on you for posting your late night
Even
videos.
if I tell you I got kidnapped and I have like blood on the window saying help me, don't call the cops. Okay, I don't want to help.
That's not your safe word?
No. Well, what's even funny about this video, that if you look at the post, it says the knives aren't real. So I don't know if that was before she got in trouble or after she got in trouble, but it says it's for Halloween.
Right. I think once the cops showed up, she was like, no, these are prop knives.
No, it says like in the post. It said, hey, don't worry, these are fake.
Oh, did it in the post? It said that too?
From Brittany herself.
Well, and she may have edited it afterwards.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. No, but that was just it. To me, I did not know that you could have a welfare check called on you due to a social media post like that. But I guess it makes sense these days. You never know. Well, as promised, the emotional support alligator. This story was everywhere, so I'm certainly sure that you saw it as well. But a man in Philadelphia attempted to bring in an alligator to a Phillies baseball game last week and claimed it was his emotional support alligator. Come on, man. What's wrong with this guy? If you saw that, are you just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, let him in. That's no problem. No worries. I'm not. This is ridiculous. This guy was obviously, I bet you, if we go back, we're going to find a social media maybe it was Dr. Kenny Smiles.
Well, no, I don't know.
And he's trying to get clicks and attention.
Well,
right?
whatever the Phillies protocol is, like, can you bring pets in?
Well, on certain days, I know, like, they'll have, like, bring your dog to the ballpark kind of thing. I think that this was not one of those occasions. I wonder
how many dookies are put on the...
Oh, can you imagine having to clean up the stadium after bring your dog to the park day? Oh, my God.
I feel sorry for my neighbor yesterday. My dog got out, and I sprinted after her, and then she cut through the forest. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I bet she's in someone's yard just taking a big one. And then finally she just comes out of the woods like, hey, there you are.
It doesn't matter if your dog has dookied like just minutes before. If it gets out and it's in a new area, it's on again. It comes out automatically. It's like they've always got some just stored up waiting for the moment they get out.
Yeah. Well, and what I love is right when she finished, immediately came back to me, and I was like, "You made me run."
She literally got it out of her system.
Yeah, like you made me run almost a mile because I was sprinting after her because she's a killer.
Yeah.
And she gets there's a lot of small dogs. Everyone has these tiny dogs. And I'm like, my dog's going to eat your dog. And for some reason, she hates tiny dogs. Big dogs and medium-sized dogs doesn't bother her. But when she sees a little dog, it's a snack.
Is it just me, though, or do you see more service dogs lately
100%.
than you have, 10, 20 years ago?
My best friend
Seems like they're all over the place.
My best friend had a service vest.
Yeah.
And that's how because he was...
Like he wore it or the animal?
No, the animal, his dog. Yeah. That's how he got his dog on the airplane.
Okay, so I think you might be headed where I'm going. I'm not sure.
And he definitely wasn't a service dog.
Okay, there you go. So I'm noticing this as well, and it certainly could be the fact that service animals are prescribed more often than they used to. Maybe there's more of a greater need, but it does seem like, I don't know, 1 out of every 10 trips to the grocery store or the mall, somebody's got an animal there with a vest on. It's a service dog. But did you know that it is actually illegal to fake a service dog?
I don't doubt it.
You can't just say, "Yep, service dog, here it is." Yeah. And there's also, this is according to theservicedog.com, where it's, I questioned what type of animals could be used for service. There are only 2 kinds of animals that can be used for service animals. Would you like to take a guess?
Dog.
Yeah. Ding.
Cat.
No cats.
Parrot.
Almost. So close. Miniature horse.
Okay. Yeah.
How baller would that be to walk into HEB with a miniature horse as a service animal? But yeah, so a lot of people, though, I guess, are faking this, so I guess they can take their pets in. But it is not an easy task for a dog or miniature horse in this case to become a service animal. It says from veterinarians.org, there are an estimated 500,000 service dogs working in the U.S., but 70% of the service dogs in training don't graduate due to behavioral issues, like getting free and making a dookie in the neighbor's yard. Probably frowned upon. Seeing a small dog, yeah. And the training to train a service dog can vary, but it's around 7,000 up to 20,000. But for some of your more highly specialized service dogs for like blind, the blind folks, like, go get me a beer out of the fridge kind of thing.
Carly's getting her dog.
Runs up to $30,000. Oh, that's right. You have a blind friend and she's getting a service dog. Mm-hmm. Wow. And I don't know where that money comes from. If you have to pay it, or if maybe it's an insurance thing. But yeah, not easy for the dog to do and not cheap.
And what's crazy for me, that concept of a blind dog, is this dog will die. So it's like, imagine...
Yeah, you get very attached to them.
Well, having that attachment, whatever, you're a wimp if you get attached to dogs.
That made no sense.
I'm kidding. I love my dog. But I'm thinking to myself, all right, so you're changing your entire habit of how you live your life because now you have a service dog. And this is a shout out to Carly, because I always thought about this when she started talking about or she's getting a service dog. She had to do all this training. Like, it's going to change her life. That's what she's telling me. It's going to change her life.
I bet it could.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, that dog's going to die.
Well, at some point. So are we. What's your point, man?
No. So her life's going to be great for 10 years. Well, and then it's like, oh, Brownie's dead. And then it's like, do you get another one? Do you have to, like, relearn that dog? Like,
yeah, I'm sure it's tough. I bet you there's an adjustment period in there.
Because all the freedom it gives her is going to give her. Then one day it's going to be taken away. It's like...
It says it takes about 6 months to a year, which is about 120 plus hours to properly train a service or assistance dog. It makes me wonder, like, if you've got these service dogs and they're in the store and they pass another dog, do you think they can tell if that one's faking it? They look over like, no. Well, no, that's not going to fly.
You can tell when the dog doesn't even move. That means it's a good service
dog.
Yeah,
you've got one's got a vest. It's all scratching and licking at itself.
Yeah, like those are the good service dogs. They don't let
hiking
anything
on
happen.
Stuff. Yeah, they are remarkably calm. I will say that.
Well, no, I told you my uncle is a canine officer. Mm-hmm. So he always had the service. I mean, that's a different type of service dog.
Sure.
But those dogs are very disciplined to the point where it's a little creepy.
Have you ever gone down and start to pet one and then immediately notice it's a service dog and says, "Do not pet," and you quickly pretend like you're,
No, I don't.
Brushing your hair or something.
I'm not going to lie. I don't go up to random animals.
Well, I try not
Unless
to,
it's
but
like
sometimes they're so cute, Dick. You just
But
can't.
if I go to your house and you have a dog, I'm like, can I pet your dog?
Yeah, it's a little different, I suppose. But what if I threw a vest
But
on?
if I'm over here at HEB just petting parrots,
Miniature
like-
horses.
what's your name?
Oh man, what
Speedo not required.
what would you use if there were no rules on what was required for service animals? What kind of animal would you use? Like a squirrel or something?
I would choose
a bearded dragon?
I would choose whatever one is the most inconvenient for everyone around me,
Service elephant.
or something loud
And you just
disturbing.
you demand accommodations for your animal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds like something you would do. But no, only doggies and miniature horses. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying about one of my good friends who did the vest for his dog. He's like, the only reason I do is because they make it so complicated to board a dog.
Yeah, well, make sure you don't release his name because it is against the law.
Well,
Yeah. From people.com, Stephen King. Are you a Stephen King fan?
to be honest, no. Like, I like the movies that they made
Mm-hmm.
his stories over, but like the writing, I'm never really a big fan of.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever really sat down and read a Stephen King book. I don't read a lot, to be honest with you, anyways, especially not like fiction novels like that. But yeah, I know he's extremely popular. I've seen some of his movies and whatnot. Well, this story was kind of funny because the author revealed in a recent Rolling Stone interview that back in 1999, his wife threatened to divorce him because he was playing Lou Vega's Mambo Number 5 over and over and over again while he was writing. So apparently, Stephen King likes to have music in the background, as you can imagine, writers would, but he likes to have this sort of Caribbean dance music, and that was the song of the time, and wouldn't you know, he played it over and over and over again. But I can't help but thinking, do you kind of have a different perception of Stephen King now, knowing that he writes these horror movies with these horrible,
He fits like right in line with the craziness. It's like some of them are psychopaths in his stories.
Maybe so.
Mambo Number 5.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
on
like as
repeat.
he's creating these characters like It or whatever, he's actually thinking about Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. Change your perception at all a little bit?
I mean, I don't. That guy's so weird.
He is weird. He was like, wasn't he involved in a car accident and then nearly died and came back to life, which is so much like a character he would write about? Or am I making this up?
I have no idea. But that I do like the idea of Mambo Number 5 being in The Shining.
It does sound like something he would
I
write
do like
about,
that.
man.
I do like that.
Yeah. Okay, we got two quick hits here at the end. I think this is something that you and probably your high school buddies would have done, but a shark was found on a riverbank in landlocked Idaho.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it causes massive alarm. And I don't know if you want to show this picture or not, but there was this shark just laying on the riverbanks in Idaho. This says last week, but I think this was from August, to be honest with you. And of course, it freaked everybody out because, well, that's a freshwater lake and a saltwater shark that is laying there. And it looks like it's pretty vicious. They don't live in freshwater. They only live in saltwater.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, it turned out to be a prank. And I think it's actually, these are the type of pranks I do like. I'm not a big prankster, but I have to admit, because this is kind of harmless, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody. You catch a shark or whatever, and you're like, what are we going to do with this thing? Let's just drive it 500 miles inland and set it down and just watch from afar and just watch the chaos. Because you know somebody's probably fly fishing and looked over and goes, is that a shark? What, can you imagine just the terror?
Well, I mean, I just saw the Meg 2. So shark fever's hitting everybody.
Well, true, and that's a documentary, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The true story of the Meg.
Yeah, and The Trench. It's called The Trench.
What? The
It
Trench?
says Meg 2, The Trench. I think it's called The Trench.
Meg to the Trench.
It's a
That's
sequel.
okay. Yeah. Sorry, that's like the subtitle you mean, or the subheading, whatever it's called. So full review. Was it as good as The Good Boy movie we talked about a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
With the roommate who dresses up like a dog and demands to watch.
It was terrible.
Intimate moments.
It was great and terrible. You know, there were moments though. I had to remind myself that I saw the first one.
You had to remind yourself that you saw the first one.
I was like, okay.
I don't even think I understand.
That person's in the first one, right? Or who's in the first one? I saw the first one, right? Oh yeah, I did. I know I did. And And yeah, it's kind of funny how they're making movies these days where I don't know if it's part of the writer's strike or part of like the actors BS. Is it's almost like they're fitting so much stuff in their contracts where it's like I can only be there for 5 days, so you just got to make it work. Because every scene a lot of these people are in, it's like they're just like in a corner of a room, and it's like they're clearly not in the same room.
Sadly, though.
And these are like high-end movies. Like they're spending millions of dollars.
Well, yeah.
So I can understand if it was a small budget, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is like a big budget movie compared to like independent filmmakers. And I'm like, I feel like Jason Statham was like, I'm only going to be here for a week. So figure it out.
Let's get this done rather quickly.
Let's figure it out.
Sadly, though, wasn't that movie filmed long before the strike? So
I know. I mean, I'm saying maybe that's where the strike is now. They're arguing. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to notice the trends in movies coming out where they have these big name actors, and it's like, because it used to be in the B movies, in the C movies, where like the Bruce Willis movies post like 2010, he would be in movies where he literally would show up, deliver his line, and the rest of the dialogue for it would be behind him. So clearly, it's not him; it's like a stand-in. But
you're saying the shot would be up from him behind.
From behind, so it'd be a bald dude.
I know. I guess I didn't realize that.
And like a lot of movies with big actors are like that.
Do you think we could do that for me?
And
this show?
who do you want to hire?
No, just put the camera behind me.
But no, it's happening in bigger movies now, and I was like, this is weird. Like, it's like you're just taking as many jobs as you can. I guess that's a cool thing. I guess.
Yeah,
like Gerard Butler's doing that. He's like in every movie.
Gerard Butler. Oh yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, and he's all in B movies now. He's like in a couple.
I guess it's like scatter shooting. You do enough of them.
Yeah.
You get paid small amounts, but you do enough of them. If you don't really care about your quote legacy, right?
And he had Jaws 4 with Michael Caine, or Jaws 3, I think. Michael Caine.
It's got to be 4. There was 3, right? I think.
I was trying to keep on the shark deal.
Yeah. No, but I love that though. But like I said, harmless joke. It just seems like something Dick would have done, or like gone something like caught a shark down there at Galveston and brought it up to the banks of like, I don't know, Lake Conroe, and just set it there and go up to the pier and grab a beer and just watch everybody freak out.
Did you see that shark over there? I don't know if I do a shark. I would probably do like what I would creep people out is you get like 100 pounds of jellyfish and just dump it. And so all these dead jellyfish are like all over the shore.
Yeah, but see, the problem is, though, dead jellyfish can still sting.
Okay, don't touch them.
Well, but people might. There could be some little kid
touch
playing
the
in the
shark
sand.
mouth and cut yourself.
Oh, no. That shark ain't hurt you.
Or what you could do is you
could
put some motor in it, and so when people get near it, it's like it wiggles.
Animatronic?
No, just like a weight thing, like a shake weight.
Oh, gotcha.
You get like a shake weight in there.
Yeah, now you're thinking. Now the wheels are turning.
Yeah, now I want to do it.
Yeah, now the wheels are turning. So
that's a good joke. That's a good joke. I one time I did a kind of like inadvertently a practical joke is we had one of those doors at one of our offices I was working at, and it was hydraulic, but you could actually like reverse it. Mm-hmm. So it would shut really fast. And me not thinking about it because I was trying to loosen it. Because it like when you push it, it would just be so hard. It's like you're like working out a football field with those things. Sure. So I loosened it too much, and I did something else, so it went like. But what was great about it is I got it to where it would stop about a foot from the door and then slowly do it.
Oh, look at you!
Slow
close.
So when you open the door to leave, it would close really fast, acting like it was going to hit you, and then it would stop. And I had a really good time with that one day. I was like, that is probably one of the best things I've done.
I thought you were going to say you were trying to adjust that thing and it snapped back and hit you in the face.
Well, it almost did. That's what I'm saying.
Would have been a better story.
It almost did, but it stopped halfway.
And that gave you the ingenious idea.
I was like, I want to keep this. I want to keep this.
Forget that shark.
Because that person, like the second person behind you, almost thinks they're about to get nailed. Because the first person swings open the door, and right when the action comes in, it closes real fast. Like, whoa! And it's like, oh, it almost got me.
All right. To finish up this week, last week we talked about, I think I mentioned why certain refrigeration trucks have the word fish, staying on this aquatic theme, on the side of them. And you claimed, I never heard of it. And I'm like, that's so crazy.
I like my dumb voice that you give me.
Well, it's.
I never heard of it.
Do it. I sound just like you, though, don't I? I practice it.
I heard it.
I never heard of it.
I heard it.
Well, apparently it is required by law for trucks carrying fish in interstate commerce.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless more complex markings are used as a shipping import-export control. They must mark, and I guess it's because fish contain, not I guess, it does say this, fish contains the highest levels of iodine than any other food in a normal diet, and many people are highly allergic to iodine, and if they come in contact with it, could possibly go into anaphylactic shock. So I guess they must warn folks that they are carrying a potentially hazardous substance known as fish. So there you go. There's the answer. I knew I wasn't crazy. And I've never seen fish on bound side of truck before. But again, we also we also have noticed that you are not necessarily too keen on picking up details. Not necessarily a detail person, I don't think. So big picture. You're an idea guy. The idea guy.
The detail stuff just depends. Like, cause okay, say some guy's going through anaphylactic shock.
Yep.
What is my first inclination going to be? Where did it come from? Oh, it came from that truck that says fish on it. Like, what are you talking about here?
Yeah, it is a bit strange. That's just the reason why. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that's the reason why they put fish on the side of those
Did you
things.
not see what was on the side of the truck?
I didn't see nothing.
Well, I mean, not even that. What really is the original purpose? Like, does somebody sue them and be like, hey, on these 18-wheelers, you really need to put fish so there's fish on it?
Yeah, I'm sure this has something to do with somebody somewhere
because
suing somebody.
the interstate stuff I can see being like a bootlegger thing.
Yeah.
Because they would hide stuff in fish, and so they made everyone put fish. So they the cops wanted to stop them because they'd be like, "Hey, fish is a great way to hide stuff."
Because they're stinky.
And that's the only thing
I mean, I do know that truckers who haul like highly explosive materials and chemicals cannot go through the middle of cities like a major metropolitan.
They have to go the business route.
Yeah, they have the non-business route. They got to go around the city because potentially it could be deadly. So they don't want it around lots of people. And so that's why you'll see like explosive materials or something on the side of a truck. But I'm sure you've noticed that. That's a big truck. Don't notice that bigger either. Sorry. I got to stop doing that.
I
So
like
stupid.
it. I like my dumb voice.
That is all we've got for this week, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the likes and follows on all of the social media. We really appreciate it. If you like what you hear,
really likes doing that, guys.
I'm just trying to promote the show. Everybody like, subscribe, follow.
I'm just here to make Andrew feel smarter.
Thank you. And he does an excellent job at it.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he gets home to his beautiful wife, and he's like, "You're so lucky you married a smart guy."
There, that's why I like you, Dick. Make me feel better about myself. Next week, onesies.
So lucky.
Bye.